Oh, hey there. Don't mind me in this USC jersey. Don't mind me in this USC jersey. USC is back. I'm back. San Francisco 49ers, they're back. Playoffs are back. Let's talk about it right here on the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Walker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And also, as you can see, somebody representing USC today. Also, of course, we're going to talk about 49ers, where they're headed. All right, we got a couple cool things on the docket today. We got who is Jimmy Garoppolo, all right, because I saw a lot of people upset about Jimmy Garoppolo and kind of what was going on early in the game. We'll talk about that. 49ers playoffs, what's going on with that, where they see it right now, how is everything kind of laying out. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk, let's talk about some of their usage. Deebo, a little banged up, but doesn't sound like anything too crazy. Elijah Mitchell and Jimmy Garoppolo, his trade talk. So we're going to get into all that and more. But first, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. We're talking 49ers. We're talking playoffs. It's Victory Monday. We got some 209ers in the house. Let's go. All right, man. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get right into it. 49ers that beat the Minnesota Vikings 36-28. I probably should know the score. But they win by 8 points. Big time win for the 49ers. And, I think the other couple, the previous two wins, you could say, well, 49ers, they know the Rams. They always beat the Rams. They own Sean McVay. All right. Okay, good win, right? They did it in dominant fashion. Then they come out and the Jacksonville Jaguar game, I'm pretty sure we all expected them to win that game, right? Now, again, nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. They did just come off a game where they beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm talking about the Jaguars. But, all right, 49ers played them, and they handled business. But this was the game here that I felt like a lot of people were looking forward to. It was a game that if it were on a neutral field, it would be, it would be a pick 'em. All right, a coin flip as to who you thought would win that game. 49ers were at home, so they were favored. A place where the 49ers starting to pick up a little steam, be able to win more games. Always thought that home 49ers can't win at Levi Stadium thing this year. Hadn't been for a year. I thought it was really weird. I mean, if you look at the 49ers during that time, I mean, plenty of injuries, different things going on. I thought it was more random than, they just can't win at Levi Stadium. But clearly, 49ers back-to-back wins at Levi Stadium, back-to-back home wins. Awesome. But this game here, you're playing against the Minnesota Vikings, and it's a team that is equally as talented, right? Like, going into this game, again, we talked about leading up to this. They almost mirror each other. And this is going back to 2019 and how they wanted to win, right? How did the Minnesota Vikings want to win in that divisional round playoff game? Well, they want to lean on the run game. They got Dalvin Cook. They want to get that going. And then, work off play action, big shots downfield to their really good receivers, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, right? Like, that's how they wanted to win. They wanted to lean on their defense. Well, that's the same way the 49ers wanted to win, right? Some of those same concepts, some of those same things. So you look at that, you look at how that team wanted to win, and you kind of compare that to this year. Again, it's almost like mirror images of each other again, right? Both teams 5-5 coming into this game. Both teams on 2 games winning streaks coming into this game. Both teams, I do feel like, don't want their quarterback to have to be the reason they win, right? And when you start having to throw a little too much, weird things start happening with these quarterbacks when you have to start playing, because of the way that, maybe you're down on the score and things like that. Now you have to ask more of your quarterback when you are these two teams that is not an ideal position. Now, again, not to say that they can't win that way, but that's not ideal for these two quarterbacks. So we're going to get into all that more, but real quick, I forgot to tell you guys while we're on earlier, right? Start this show 30 minutes earlier because my niece, she got to go back to Atlanta. I got to drive her to the airport at about 9:30. So That's why 9:30 my time. Was that 7:30 a.m. Pacific. So that's why we're on here earlier, 30 minutes earlier. We're not going to be as long today. But 49ers game, big time win over the Minnesota Vikings. And I won't go through, we all saw the game. You guys all know how it played out. But I'm just going to talk about some of the storylines that I took from this game. And then obviously I'll let you guys come on and talk about, your thoughts on that whole thing. But who is Jimmy Garoppolo? I saw a lot of people upset early on with how Jimmy Garoppolo was playing. And Kyle Shanahan too. Kyle Shanahan ripped him on the sideline. My thing is, that's who the fuck Jimmy been the whole time. That's Jimmy Garoppolo. And when he's not super, super efficient in the sense of being like the highest rated efficient quarterback in the NFL, which he had been over the last 4 weeks, if he's not that, if he's what he normally is, there are very weird moments. That's just who he is. So with him as a starting quarterback, you live with that. You know that. So for me to see people kind of, Trey Lance, and it's like, no, this is not a Trey Lance time. All right, this is not a Trey Lance time. This is a Jimmy Garoppolo just has to kind of work through this rough patch. As you would with any other quarterback, I think the issue with Jimmy, or even like a Kirk Cousins is, and I think, no, Jimmy even more so than Cousins, he has certain limitations. So early on, it was clear to me that the Minnesota Vikings said, you know what, we're going to clog the middle of the field. We're going to take that away. We're going to make you throw outside the numbers. And that's not Jimmy G's strength, right? Like what does Jimmy do well? He throws in rhythm well, throws in between the hashes and damn near in between the numbers very well, right? Like that's where he performs at his highest ability. He's not someone that's typically going to stretch the field vertically unless it's a schemed up shot play. And he also isn't someone who is going to throw outside the numbers a lot on drive throws. And when he starts to do things like that, he kind of can get in trouble, starts to look a little weird, right? You saw him throw outside the numbers early on to George Kittle. And this was when I was like, okay, what's Kyle Shanahan's changeup going to be? Because we know who your quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, is, right? So Jimmy tried to throw outside the numbers. It was third down play. I tried to throw outside to George Kittle. And the ball kind of floated a little bit, right? Kind of floated to him. And you're like, almost got picked off. It was kind of behind him. Deebo could have made a play. There was a shot play down the field, down the right sideline to Deebo Samuel on a double move. And again, Deebo Samuel had to play defensive back and really made a terrific job, right? No PI, broke the ball up, did a good job there. Well, Jimmy is who he is. So people kind of like Trey Lance. No. Maybe if this wasn't what I expected from Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't still think I would say that. I know who Jimmy is, and I know with Jimmy as the starter, what exactly he brings to the table. And I know, right now, ideally, the 49ers have to play a certain brand of football for him to be the best version of himself that he can be. And I think we saw that, right? We saw that at different stages in the game where he did start completing passes. Now, again, things started off weird. He missed some passes, threw a pass, some passes high, threw high to the running back. We saw him throw the interception. One of those third down conversions to our guy, 15, Juwan Jennings. Even the safety had a beat on that, where he kind of came and tried to rob it. And he was right there a split second away from being able to pick that off. So you could tell they knew kind of what Jimmy's strengths was, and they wanted to take that away. But ultimately, it didn't matter. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo did a good job of kind of getting back in a rhythm, being able to throw some of the passes where he's comfortable with doing over the middle. He did a really good job throwing some passes to Brandon Aiyuk. Aiyuk had, obviously he did terrific, catching some nice passes, having nice run after catch plays, big time clutch play over the middle, kind of down the field towards the end of the first half. Did a good job there. Terrific job by Jimmy Garoppolo, moving the chains, being able to, pick up not just the first down, because I think it was 3rd and 11 from the 30-yard line, but put the 49ers in position to be able to ultimately score a touchdown. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo, people are going to be upset by some of the way that game started. But to me, again, he is who he is. And those are some of the things that you're going to get with him, because when it's not the bet, there's not really a whole lot of, I don't want to say a whole lot of in between, but you're going to see more of what we saw in this game from Jimmy than we are what we've seen in the previous 3-4 weeks or whatever it was. Jimmy, most of the time, is not probably going to be the highest rated quarterback as far as efficiency goes and QBR goes in the NFL. It's typically not going to be him. Typically going to get more of what you saw from this game. Some weird moments, some like, oh, you stop throwing the ball high, right? Oh, you're going to get somebody killed maybe. But also just enough throws to where it's like, all right, this is the guy who wins way more with Kyle Shanahan than loses. All right, so that was a lot of what we saw from Jimmy Garoppolo, and I kind of want to touch on that because I saw some people panicking. I asked some questions on Twitter about it, like, okay, I was waiting to see when is the team going to take away this middle of the field. They did. All right, what's he going to do? Damn, he throws that out. That's not his game. Kyle Shanahan, what are you going to do to help your quarterback? And we see, obviously, he kind of just stuck to the script, stuck to the run game. Thought he did a good job. I saw a lot of people, and I didn't have Kyle Shanahan on my notes or anything like that, but Kyle Shanahan, get back, stop being stubborn, get back to what you do, get back. And it's like, dude, like you can't coddle Jimmy to the point where you just, don't do anything. Like, okay, we can't throw the ball at all. No, like you got to play football. Like you have to throw the ball. Like the NFL is a wide open game right now. You have to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball to keep teams honest. I get it. 49ers have ran a ton, and eventually they got back to that last game running, 38, 39 times. But you're going to have to throw the ball at some point. So a lot of people were, oh, you got to get back to what you did before. Stop being stubborn. Run the ball. You got to keep teams honest. You got to play football. Right? So Kyle Shanahan, I thought he did a really good job of keeping the team balanced. I think I saw like damn near at halftime, 49ers had just as many run plays as pass plays, or right around there. It was a very balanced attack in the first half. Now, obviously, 49ers came out second half, scored a touchdown, got a takeaway, scored a touchdown, and next thing you know, they're up 14 points. And, with a missed extra point from the Vikings, which definitely helped the 49ers. Defense played stout enough. 49ers won the game, and that was a really good game. Again, I could talk about the Rams game, divisional rivals. Kyle has kind of owned Sean McVay. Anything can happen. All right. The Jaguars game, like, 49ers supposed to win that game, even though it's a road game, but they handle business. Awesome. But this was the game where, okay, it didn't go according to how these other games are going, where the 49ers just really dominate those teams throughout the entire game from all aspects. 49ers are down 14-7 in this game and scored 21 unanswered points. A lot of people thought, like, hey, well, why, the 49ers, they have to win a certain way. They can't turn the ball. They can't do it. But what? I talked about this before. We've seen Jimmy Garoppolo contribute to wins every which way possible. Every which way. Whether the 49ers turn the ball over, whether he turned the ball over, whether defense is playing great, whether defense is not playing great, whether he kind of has to get in the shootout, whether he doesn't have to get in the shootout. We've seen him win. Is there a more ideal way that he has to win? Yes. And I think that would be the case for anybody. Everybody keeps 49ers got to run the ball and don't turn the ball over and play good defense. Well, that's everybody's script to win games. Run the ball well, don't turn the ball over, take the ball away, play good defense. Everybody wants to win that way, but it's not going to be like that every game. And I thought in a game like this where it didn't go perfect, they did a terrific job of responding. And that game right there was like, okay, it's a playoff team. 49ers are a playoff team. Now, where do the 49ers stand in the standings? All right. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are the 6th seed, which is good because, again, a few weeks ago, we would not have thought that the 49ers will be here right now. So, wow, what a difference. And a lot of people were like, man, what's going to change? I'm like, man, winning cures all. Are the 49ers going to do it? I don't know. But winning cures all. And once 49ers start winning, all of the Kyle Shanahan talk and all this, that, and the other, like that's the Trey Lance, we haven't even talked about him, things like that. You start winning, those talks go away. Now it's just focus on the next game and not focus on when is Trey Lance going to get in. 49ers are 6-5 right now, a half game, and obviously the Rams have one less loss and one more win, but a half game because of the tiebreaker. 49ers are a half game behind the LA Rams. Awesome. They are a game and a half ahead of the next best team, the 7th seed Minnesota Vikings. They play Atlanta Falcons later. They play Philadelphia. They're ahead of them. They own the tiebreaker as well. So 49ers are in a really good spot right now as it pertains to the playoffs, seeding, controlling their own destiny, kind of where they're heading right now. They're doing a great job of that. All right. And again, we talked about Jimmy Garoppolo and kind of how he has played. He is what he is. I thought he played well. All right. I see the comment right here. Jimmy is who we say he is, and Vikings let him off the hook. I don't think Vikings let him off the hook. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't suck. And that's the one thing, like, I wish more people maybe could have seen that game, because, like, even like what we saw early on, like, that's the worst version of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the worst version of him. That's the interception, the high throws, or can't throw outside the numbers, like Daniel Clark in the middle. Like, that's the worst. And he still rebounded from that and was able to really contribute to a win and make the throws that he needed to make, and move the chains when he needed to move them, and not compound on mistakes. So I don't even think it was Vikings letting Jimmy off the hook. I think it was Jimmy being who Jimmy is and playing the brand of football that he plays that ultimately can lead to wins. Right? Am I right? I did see a comment about we're on kind of early. Yeah, I touched about it briefly. I gotta take my niece to the airport, so I was like, okay, I gotta come on a little earlier than expected. I appreciate everybody that's in here right now. If you haven't already, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Underdog Fantasy promo code Crocky. We get into it. One of my listeners of the Locked On 49ers podcast won $1,000 using Underdog Fantasy. And you guys probably like $1,000. No way. This guy made $1,000 doing Underdog Fantasy. But you know what? We're gonna share the screen. And this how you know what I'm saying? Underdog Fantasy, man. We get into the money. Here we go. Boom. Y'all see that? Am I able to zoom in on it? I'm pretty sure you guys can see it, right? Here we go. He had the under on Kirk Cousins, passing yards. He had the under on Najee Harris, under on Dalvin Cook, under on Emmanuel Sanders, and under on Joe Burrow. He put down $50. And if you look right here, it was for $1,000. He won $1,000 using Underdog Fantasy. So he DM'd me like, Croc, I use your promo code Underdog Fantasy. Man, I won $1,000. So there's real money out there, man. I don't just be talking about this Underdog Fantasy stuff and just talking just to talk, man. You really make money on there. And shout out to Kirk Cousins, because that was one of the key pieces. And he listened to Locked On 49ers. We told him take the under on Kirk Cousins' numbers. And why did I tell him to take the under on Kirk Cousins' passing yards? Because the 49ers secondary isn't as bad as y'all say. And I tell y'all all the time. This is a game that the Vikings kind of had to try to throw the ball to get back in this game, right? They had to throw the ball to try to get back in the game. And even then, Kirk Cousins, still down 14 points, was not able to hit the over on his yardage, which wasn't anything too crazy. He threw for like 260 yards. That's not bad. And that's with a couple of blown coverages by the defensive backs, maybe the safeties or whatever. You had the one Hufanga. I don't even know if it was like a blown coverage. Let's talk about it. So I don't know if it was a blown coverage by Hufanga, but he had two crossing routes kind of climbing towards him, right? And one was climbing up, and the other one, which was Thielen, trailing it, and it put Hufanga in a tough spot. Do I continue to go with this Jefferson crosser, or do I stop and go with Adam Thielen? And then Adam Thielen did a smart veteran thing to do, because as that was happening, Hufanga was gaining depth, but Adam Thielen said, okay, you're kind of going with that. I'm just going to take it right up here. I'm going to adjust, and hopefully my quarterback sees it. The way to defend that is you got to get to the quarterback. Kirk Cousins was able to roll left, buy time, see him late, and then throw that ball. Pass rush gets there, keeps him in the pocket. That doesn't happen. So, obviously I've been tougher on the pass rush than the secondary, but ultimately I did not think that the secondary was bad. And for everybody, we gotta talk about this. Y'all got to give it a rest with this Josh Norman thing. Josh Norman is not as bad. Now, again, what are our standards for him, right? Like, my standards for Josh Norman are not that high. We're talking about somebody who did not spend any time in the offseason with the 49ers. Week 1, he wasn't even signed. It wasn't until Jason Verrett got hurt that the 49ers brought in Josh Norman, just off the street, right? Like, that's probably the best you can kind of do. But what are your standards for him? It's the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. We talked about Jimmy Garoppolo, how he started. Well, I'm sorry, that's kind of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to start weird sometimes, but again, he's going to come back, he's going to make up things, and he's going to contribute to a win. I don't have these high, lofty expectations for Jimmy Garoppolo aside from, hey, man, just play as well as you can play. And ultimately, that should lead to some wins. When it comes to Josh Norman, I don't think Josh Norman is going to shut everybody down, nor should you. But the way y'all talk about him is like he's just this huge liability. And I'm here to tell y'all, he's not. Go look at some of these other corners around the NFL. There are a lot of liabilities out there in secondaries. A lot. Then we talk about guys like Trevon Diggs. I love Trevon Diggs. I would love him on the 49ers. I think he's a go-getter. He's a risk taker. He's going to make plays. Guess what, man? Guess what? He's given up the most passing yards in the NFL, the most penalties, probably the most penalty yards, right? We're talking about Trevon Diggs, but he's taking the ball away 8 times, and that's the name of the game in the NFL. So Josh Norman, he's out there. If he just, gets the pass interference call, which I thought one of them was weak, the other one, I see. But, Josh Norman, if he's just out there and those things happen and he gives up the catch to Justin Jefferson, and it's man, there's just nothing good about why is he out there? I would get it. But the fact that on any given play, he potentially gives you the opportunity to get the ball back by punching the ball out. And he also has an interception. He's punched out 7 balls this year. He has forced 7 fumbles. I repeat, he has forced 7 fumbles, if I'm not mistaken, or 6 fumbles. 6 or 7 fumbles he's forced. And on top of that, he has an interception this year, right? So when you look at him, it is you got beat there. Okay. Yeah, it's because of the narrative on him and that he's just so bad, it's everything that he does is magnified. If he does anything wrong, we're talking about Josh Norman. If Norman does anything wrong, that's why he shouldn't be playing. It's man, guys get beaten in the field. How do you let's talk about Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson has been going crazy. Jamar Chase going crazy. Cooper Kupp going crazy. You got all these receivers going crazy. Who do y'all think they're going crazy on? On air? No, they're destroying other DBs. The 49ers DBs aren't the only guys that will give up catches. Somebody's going to give up catches. Somebody. There's very few guys that are just hey, man, that guy is kind of a shutdown guy, right? You got guys like Jalen Ramsey. I don't even think I think J.C. Jackson, if I pull up the numbers, everybody wants to sign J.C. Jackson right now. All y'all. I bet he's giving up top 5 most yards in the NFL. I could be wrong. But I bet J.C. Jackson has given up top 5 yards in the NFL. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm going to try to look it up. I don't want to spend too much time on this. But what I'm saying is the guys all be glorifying and thinking this and that we could just do so much better than Josh Norman. You're wrong, especially for what the expectations of him are. I don't expect him to be Jason Verrett. I just expect him, he might get called for a holding. Okay, he might give up a catch or 2. But he also might take the ball away. He might punch it out. He might do some things that can help. Oh, man, he missed a tackle. Okay, we got him off the street. Now, we can bring in Deommodore Lenoir. But Deommodore Lenoir, I saw somebody that tweeted out, Deommodore Lenoir getting roasted Josh Norman, and it was the greater sign, right? He'd rather see Deommodore Lenoir get whooped than Josh Norman. But my thing is, at least Josh Norman gives you the opportunity to take the ball away at any given moment. He punches out multiple balls, sometimes multiple balls in a game. That's big time to give your team opportunities. Somebody's going to get beat. Somebody's going to give up catches. Somebody is. It's every week. So I get it. I'm going to bat for him. And if he gets picked on like we've seen from the guy Brian Allen last year, or sometimes what we saw with Akilla Witherspoon, what we saw last year from Emmanuel Mosley, who gave up 14 catches in one game. If that happened to Norman, then I'd be all right, y'all. Y'all right. He gave up 14 catches like Mosley did last year in one game. But that's not what's happening to him. He's been called for a penalty here and there, and he's giving up a catch here and there. But it's not terrible. So we gotta kind of, but it's like the moment Josh Norman gives up one play, it's like, see, get him out, or the pass interference. Oh my gosh, it's whatever, dude. It's whatever. He's out there. He's making plays. Got him off the street. He's doing fine. Let him be out there. Punch passes away. Fourth down, he was game on the line. He was right there and contributed to an incomplete pass. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Hold on. I swear to this fan base, if you have any feedback on the player, you are a hater. Come on. I would say that I don't know. Who's the hater? I hope I'm not. I hope I don't sound like I'm calling the fan base a hater, or that you guys don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not saying that. Josh Norman sucks, and forced fumble here and there doesn't make it better. My thing is, all right, what if it were Josh Norman that ran down the right sideline of the Philadelphia Eagles for a 70-yard touchdown that ultimately barely stepped out of bounds, so they called it back? Or what about the 91-yard reception that Deommodore Lenoir gave up against the Philadelphia Eagles? Or maybe the slot fade that they called pass interference on Deommodore Lenoir. A couple of other times where guys got behind them and the pass was overthrown. Like, we can do this, and at the end of the day, and he wasn't taking the ball away. So my thing is, and again, I'm not saying don't get Lenoir in there. Like, okay, get him in. But what I'm saying is you could do a lot worse than Josh Norman in the sense of how I watch the games on play-to-play basis. And I'm not one of those guys that just, okay, 49ers are on, let me turn my TV on, watch 49ers. Okay, 49ers are done, let me turn my TV off. I watch football all day. I watch college football, I watch NFL football. I see how these things are being officiated. I see the challenges that cornerbacks face. I see what Josh Norman is. I know what he isn't. I'm watching these other guys. I'm seeing what's happening around the league. And I'm telling you, you could do a lot worse than Josh Norman. A lot worse. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I wanted to make sure I got that out the way. It's like the way they talk about Josh Norman, the way, I ain't gonna say y'all wrong, but y'all kind of wrong. It's not as bad as y'all think, trust me. But we get so caught up in watching like the 49ers and every single play and critiquing every play. And when you do that, obviously other things are going to stand out to you, and then kind of you get lost in the bigger grand scheme of things of how guys are playing around the NFL. So again, and I like Deommodore Lenoir. This is not a shot at Lenoir. I'm just saying, I know I saw people kind of use him at, Lenoir should be playing. And I'm thinking like, maybe, but I don't think he was just better than Norman. And again, I value taking the ball away because the NFL right now, the way the game is, one, they're calling pass interferences at an alarming rate on a lot of people. The game is so wide open. The schemes are crazy. So, you're going to give up yards. You're going to give up catches. You're going to get got here and there. So if I know that's going to happen to most guys, then, all right, it's going to happen to Norman, but at least there's an opportunity for him to take the ball away, punch the ball away. So that's kind of my thing on that. No, this is not what I said. I did not say that rookies can't make mistakes and vets are not held responsible. I think rookies are going to make their mistakes. What I'm saying is, let's say they make the same amount of mistakes. And obviously, if they're going to make the same amount of mistakes, you would say go with the rookie, right? Right? It's like, man, if you're going to make the same mistakes as this guy, then just go with the rookie. But I value 7 forced fumbles. Like that's big. Like that, those are game changing. So it's like, yeah, you give up a pass interference or you give up a catch, but you have the opportunity on any given play to change the game. So I value that. I'm not saying Norman's great. I hopefully they improve. Hopefully they get somebody in them. I'm not saying they can't even do better than him. They can. But I'm just saying, like, it could be a lot worse. And I do value him punching balls out. Like, that's big. It changes games. I hope I'm making sense here. But again, let's talk about it. Let's keep talking about some things. We talked a little bit about Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'll touch on this really quick. They talked about the trade and everything like that. Like, man, Jimmy, we knew that, right? There was a report that came out. The Ian Rappaport kind of dropped this bomb on everybody else, but us 49er fans, we knew what the hell was going on, right? Jimmy Garoppolo is playing right now for his next team. And for the 49ers, he's playing obviously to finish out this year, and hopefully we do great. And hopefully get to the NFL. I mean, NFL Super Bowl. But barring anything that's just crazy with him, because even say the 49ers get to the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo's playing like how he's playing right now, right? And the 49ers get to the Super Bowl and they win the Super Bowl with this style of play. I don't even think that guarantees him back next year, because it's not anything like going above and beyond. Like I would think that this is, I don't want to say bottom level competence as a quarterback, because he's had stretches of being the most elite, the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. But what I'm saying is, it's not like, oh my goodness, look at what Jimmy's doing. You know what I'm saying? So even if they play this brand of ball where everybody's scared of him throwing the football and don't want him to throw it and all that, right? And it's like, damn, he got these limitations, but they win the Super Bowl like that. That's how consistent can you win like that? Like Super Bowls, right? So I think he's still gone. What can you get from, if he wins the Super Bowl? Great, probably for sure get a first round pick for him. Maybe a first and a third. You know what I'm saying? But we all knew Jimmy was ultimately getting traded at the end of the year. I think it's just going to come down to what are the 49ers going to get for him? What's that value going to look like? All right. So that's kind of my thing with Jimmy Garoppolo and the trade talks. My guy Brad Brown, we play so physical now, even away from the ball. Opposing teams get so frustrated during the games. They are getting pancaked. Thoughts on what Summer did? Summer said. So Zimmer said, dude, you can call holding, you can call pass interference, you can call all that stuff on every play, on anybody. It just depends on what the refs feel like calling at that time. So he wants to cry about holding and stuff like that. Were there some plays? I think the Deebo Samuel run, I was like, oh, they could have called holding right there. Like, yeah, they could call holding. But there are so many plays where you could call holding. I mean, Nick Bosa, if Nick Bosa, and we've talked about it, like Nick Bosa gets held maybe more than anybody in the NFL. Like that stuff is going to happen. And they're going to get it sometimes, and sometimes they're not going to get it. So, yeah. Zimmer, I heard him. Like, I love George Kittle's response. I thought George Kittle had the perfect response. Basically, like, stop crying. Like, it's football. Things are going to happen. Guys are going to hold. Things are going to be called. Things are not going to get called. They're going to be bad calls, all that. Like, dude, you can't worry about that. Like, you're crying to the media because you lost the game. Like, you got beat. How about just blame your guy, blame your quarterback for throwing the ball right to the linebacker, Alshire. Blame your quarterback for missing passes, like overthrowing guys. Like, penalties are going to happen. And sometimes they're going to be missed. So Zimmer is like, come on, bro. We see this every week. Literally every head coach can go to the media and talk about how they miss calls against them. Every head coach. It's not going to change a damn thing. It's not. I appreciate the contribution. Let's talk a little bit about Deebo Samuel, his usage, and Aiyuk. And it's crazy. Like, Deebo's so good. I don't know if I've seen a guy impact the game as much. Well, maybe George Kittle, because George Kittle can impact the game without touching the ball, right? Like, he does a really good job of, he only had one catch yesterday. Crazy. But George Kittle had one catch on a screen route, on the screen pass. And outside of that, it's just blocking, right? But he's still affecting the game in that way. Doesn't mind it. Deebo is a receiver, but he's also a running back. Like, he's literally a running back now. He's a receiver. He is a receiver, and he is a running back. Like, that's his usage. And he had, 6 carries, 66 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday, 1 reception. Like, finally over 1,000 yards. Tweak the little hamstring or something like that, or growing. It sounds like it's nothing too crazy, but they just wanted to, like, be cautious of it and hold him out. They didn't want to make it any worse. So, yeah, that, they didn't want to make it. They didn't want to make it any worse. So, sounds like he's going to be fine. I hope so. We got Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell is playing his butt off. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's playing with a pen in his hand. and still ran the ball 27 times for like 133 yards and is roughly 300 yards shy of 1,000 yards, which is crazy. He's missed 3 games. Playing those 3 games, I'd say he at the very least has another 150 yards. And I mean, we're talking about a 1,400-yard rusher. So 6 games left for him to potentially reach that 1,000-yard mark. I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get it. But yeah, let's see what else I got on the docket. So that's it. I mean, obviously, I want to come on and talk about things. I went on the Jimmy G kind of rant a little bit. I definitely went on the Josh Norman rant. Not as bad. Brandon Aiyuk doing awesome. He's doing a great job of just, okay, whatever y'all ask me to do, like, I'm going to do it. Whatever it is that y'all ask me to do. And now I'm going to ask y'all if you want to come on and talk. Again, I came on earlier today because I have to go to the airport. I could probably stretch this out to about 7:15 a.m. Pacific. But you guys want to come on? You already know what to do. Hit that link. Come on. If you haven't already, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky. Go do that right now. I just showed y'all my guy made $1,000 this last week on over-unders. All right. Show y'all again. $1,000. Put up 50, but he won $1,000. So that's what Underdog Fantasy is. And I've talked about it before. And yeah, you guys can see it here. You guys can see what exactly he did. He did all unders. Under on Kirk Cousins' yards. Under on Najee Harris's rushing and receiving yards. Under on Dalvin Cook's rushing and receiving yards. And hopefully, Dalvin Cook's not too hurt. Under on Emmanuel Sanders and under on Joe Burrow. He put down $50. He came up 1,000. So that's Underdog Fantasy, man. I've been telling y'all about it. People out here really get money. I win 100 here and there, 200, but I have not hit for 1,000. So that was awesome. Underdog Fantasy. Download the app right now. Underdog Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com, and use promo code Crocky. Promo code Crocky. Today's Cyber Monday, huh? Gotta look and see what kind of deals we got going on. All right, I got my guy Mike coming on. Here we go, Mike. I want to hear your thoughts on the game. What's good, Mike? How you doing,
What's
bro?
up,
Oh, hold on
Top
1
of
second.
the morning, bro.
Before we get too much into it, hold on. Let me get to this. Let me get to the super chat real quick. My guy David Yang. Some watch Cousins and see he balled because he threw. Oh, say he balled because he threw the ball deep. But Jimmy had nearly identical numbers with a better QBR throwing 15-yard curls. Who cares how you get the numbers as long as you win? I would say, and I hear you, David. I think that's kind of what we were talking about with Jimmy Garoppolo in 2019, right? Like what led to wins. And a lot of it was like, run after catch opportunities, the slants. And if we're still getting explosive plays, which I think 49ers were one of the top explosive teams in the league that year, and probably still are right now, you're still getting explosive plays with how Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball, then so be it. He had big gains by, even Deebo's one catch was a nice gain. Brandon Aiyuk had 3 big gains, or a near touchdown to Juwan Jennings, which would have been a big game. So, yeah, I hear you, man. It doesn't matter. I would say where it helps is it being able to stretch the field opens up things underneath and makes your life a little easier. But at the end of the day, when you have quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo and even Kirk Cousins, sometimes because of their lack of big-time ability, sometimes they're not just able to take advantage of everything that's there and they have to play a certain brand. So, I think that can happen, with any quarterback. But I hear you. Jimmy's numbers probably just as good, if not better, than Cousins in this last game. And 49ers all year, though, have done a really good job of limiting the big play. So part of it could have been just the defense that Kirk Cousins was playing against. But I appreciate the contribution. But let's go, Mike. What's good with you,
What's good, big dog? Yeah, I think Jimmy threw 233 and threw 238.
Okay,
as far as the yards. So it was a pretty similar game. But we went over this with Jimmy Crock a while back, man. I don't know if you remember, but it's definitely recorded, man. I said that without the elite run game, man, Jimmy's not, he's without the elite run game, he's not the quarterback that you can expect to just throw, 30 plus times in a game, man. We need an elite run game in order for his style of quarterbacking to be efficient and effective, man. You pointed out that out route towards to Kittle. That was right. That took a long time to get there, right? We watched that ball for about 30 seconds. It felt like, right? but then he did one to the right, which it should be a lot easier to go to the right. And he got one to the sideline. It's a nice pass, man. It had some zip on it. And it got there. But also that was probably the shorter side of the field. So that just kind of shows the strength, right? That shows his arm strength, man. But I like what we're doing with Jimmy and our style of running. It's winning us games. It ain't nothing to complain about when we get ready to restructure and do something different with Trey. I mean, let's worry about that, Let's worry
When
about
that
that
time
when it get
comes.
there.
Yeah.
All right, let's worry about that when it get there, man. Let's keep watching this good football. We winning. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
What are your thoughts on the 49ers and like just how they look right now compared to the rest of the NFC?
You know what? We look dangerous. We look dangerous. The Cowboys, I mean, they have probably the worst division in the NFC. They're in one of the I don't know. Uh Everyone else is what we're expecting Tampa Bay to look good. We're expecting Green Bay to look good. We're expecting the Rams and the Cardinals to look good. But we sitting right there with them. I'm not afraid of nobody else that we got to play outside of seeing Tampa Bay, which is going to be a big game if we make it that far in the playoffs. Other than that, man, everybody else is winnable. It's a winnable game.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are my thoughts, man. I look at, where the 49ers are right now, and if they can continue to kind of play like this, then they can beat anybody. Now, again, I think there's a little bit less room for error when you have, a quarterback that's just a little limited. But you can win with him, and we've seen it before, and we're seeing it right now on this 3-game winning streak. I think, Jimmy is playing well. And if he continues to play like this, I do believe that they can beat anybody as long as it doesn't get in a big-time shootout, right? And again, we've seen him win that type of game, a couple of times. I saw him do that against Arizona a couple of times, 2019, obviously the Saints that year. But I think that most people will agree that's not the ideal way for him to win. But
we don't want to shoot out. We don't want to shoot out with an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady. We don't want to shoot out with Kyler Murray. We don't want to shoot out with none of those guys, man. We want to dominate the time of possession with the run and allow Jimmy to get those short third down passes off that our guys are elite at getting yards after the catch with. That's what we want. That's the type of football we play right now. That's what we want to see, man. That's what we want to see. And I don't remember if a while back I told you I'm Ariane Big Bro. That's like little bro right there. Not blood relation, but
I be seeing you in his pictures. I be seeing the pictures. So it'd be all y'all in like Verrett and stuff.
My brother and them. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there, man. It's a small world, man.
Hell yeah, Ariane. I mean, we went to Delta together, 2005.
Right.
He was a receiver. I was a corner, so we would go at it. And I'd be going to sometimes, especially when I'm in the 209, I go to hit him and Rose's crib. You know what I'm saying? That birthday party stuff like that. So that's my dog, man. That's
me and my brother was laughing when you was talking about how Stevie Styles was scraping the field with you.
Yeah, he was.
Hey,
Stevie Johnson, man. Yeah. Stevie Johnson, that was one of the more frustrating one-on-one. Like, we were working out together. This was when I was with the Jets. Stevie Johnson was with Buffalo, and I think he just signed a big contract, $35 million. And I mean, dude hopped out the Range Rover, hopped on a skateboard, had the little crop top shirt with the little shorts on. And I'm like, man, he comes, skates up to the field, and just I couldn't do nothing with him, bro. Everything I did, he countered. And I was like, this was peak me. Like the best shape I've ever been in.
Facts.
Like just on point with everything. And it did not matter. Stevie Johnson, dude was
Steve is special, right? Steve is special. Yeah. So that's all one conglomerate, man. Steve, Jason, that's little bro.
Yeah.
That's all one little circle.
How's Red doing, man, with the knee injury and everything?
Good, man. Jay's doing good, man. For sure. I talked to my people, my little bro. He told me he's good spirits, man. It's looking good for the guy. Speedy recovery.
Sure, man.
Yeah. But I'm gonna let you go, Croc.
All right, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up. I wanted to touch on one thing that I saw in the comments. Hopefully I see it again. I see that's what makes it tough, man, when it's not Super chat, man. Y'all want to get y'all questions answered, man. Super chat. Because there was a good question in here. I got to find it. 1 second. Again, I appreciate everybody that's in here right now. If you like this show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. We want to shoot out with Trey Lance, though. No, we don't want to shoot out with Trey Lance either. I think right now, the way the 49ers are playing, the way that they're winning, I think ideally, especially early on in Trey Lance's career, like that's who you want. You want him. You want it'll look different, like in the sense of how they do it, but you don't want to throw everything on him and put him in the shootout. Like that's not what you want for him. Now, Jimmy's in his 8th year or whatever it is. So you would expect a little bit more. Like when Trey Lance is in his 8th year, you hope that he can get in the shootout. I mean, I'd say by year 3, you want him to be able to compete in the shootout. One thing about Trey Lance, and I was talking about it with my big brother. My brother's a Cowboy fan, diehard Cowboy fan. And he's like, Dak Prescott. And we watched Dak Prescott his rookie year. Dak Prescott was, quote unquote, game manager, but he was doing it at a high level. Handing the ball off to Zeke Elliott. Zeke was going crazy. I think he ran, 1,600 yards. Dak, what did he throw? 25 touchdowns, 5 picks, something like that. They went to the divisional round playoffs. This is rookie year. The next year, they needed a little bit more from him. And, I mean, it was crappy. I think they went 8-8. This was his 2nd year, coming off of a big, 13-3 year. 8-8 the next year. Really looked weird. Didn't have Zeke. Looked like a shell of himself as a quarterback. So early on, man, in those first few years, guys, they just kind of need that. They need that, like, coddling a little bit. Most of the time. That wasn't the question I wanted to get to, though. There was another one. Oh, right here. Are fans giving Kyle his due yet? So me, I was critical of Kyle, but not in the way that other people were, right? Like, there were a lot of people that were critical of Kyle and his play calling. I have never questioned his play calling. I think a lot of it's there, and I think a lot of his execution. My criticism of Kyle Shanahan was more so on the fact that your guys aren't executing. And to me, that falls on the head coach. And then there were weird things going on with just the leadership and like, where's it going to come from? And the handling of certain players, which obviously has turned out to maybe not be the worst thing, but just how it was looking, where the 49ers were headed, 4 straight losses. Again, I never questioned his ability to coach and call plays. But to me, there's more to head coaching, being a head coach, right? Not a coordinator, not a play caller, more to being a head coach than just being able to call plays. And I thought it looked like he was lacking at those things. Now, how are you going to bring it together and how are you going to stop this talk? It was always going to be win games. You win games, a lot of that is going to calm down a little bit. And now, obviously, we see the 49ers 3-game winning streak, and we don't hear the Kyle Shanahan stuff. You don't hear the criticism of me. It seems like things are together. To me, it was all about, Kyle, how are you going to be the guy to get these guys to execute? How are you going to get them to play and not look like they're giving up? The Cardinals game was a disaster. The second one, disaster. They looked like they quit. They looked like they gave up. They weren't tackling. There was no poor execution. The 49ers did everything to lose games. And it was like, dude, this is happening on your watch, Kyle. So I held him accountable for that and was thinking, well, maybe he has too much on his plate. Maybe he shouldn't be player personnel guy and head coach and all that. Maybe he should delegate everything and just focus on one thing, right? Maybe he should focus on being a head coach even more so than a play caller, even though I didn't think his play calling was the issue, but you're suffering everywhere else. Clearly, the 49ers have gotten it together, and I think Kyle Shanahan has done a good job with whatever changes they made, whether it was holding other guys accountable, yelling at Jimmy Garoppolo, telling him to get his stuff together, whatever it is, he's done a good job of that. So I don't know if other people are giving Kyle his due, but I think he's done a terrific turnaround, and it's not because of the play calls. It's about everything else that goes into winning football games. All right, here we go. Got my guy Logan coming on. Logan, what's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
All right. Hey, just about this game last week. The main thing I take away from it is like the grit that the team has now. It just seems like, especially near the end, with like Deebo on the sidelines, even though he's hurt, just pumping the whole team up. Like they all look like a family now. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's just they look like a team that could like make a run now. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. They're playing, and again, winning cures all. You start winning, people's vibes change. Because trust me, I've been in winning locker rooms, I've been in losing locker rooms. And when you're in losing locker rooms, things start kind of spreading. There could be like these little viruses in there, and the viruses can start to get to other people, and things start spreading. And I've been a part of losing teams where, you know, the preparation isn't as high as when you were winning, and you're kind of just going out there and you're playing, and it's like, you know, you're kind of doing your thing, but you're not the standard when you're losing. It's tough to keep that up. So I think that they've done a good job of that. Now, once that's up and you're on the, now everything else, everything, the what you see Deebo doing, like that comes, yeah, when we're winning, we're on a winning streak and guys are kicking ass out there, that comes a little bit more natural. It's easy to do it when you're winning. And I'm not calling them front runners, but I'm just saying what we're seeing right now, that comes from the confidence and everything with what happens when you're on a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah. The whole Josh Norman thing, if you would ask me 3 weeks ago or something like 3-4 weeks ago, I always said I'd never want to see him on the field again. But like these past couple weeks, it's just like every game, he's almost guaranteed to cause a fumble. And I'm on board with you where it's just like, okay, I'll let you have that, 30-yard bomb or whatever. But if you get down to the 5-yard line or something like that, just like last weekend, and you can knock the ball out, potentially us to get it back, I think it's worth all the bad to have that amazing shot at getting the ball back.
My only pushback would be I'm not okay with giving up 30-yard plays. Like I'm not saying.
No, that, I know, but I'm saying
it could be
the good and bad.
Like, in games, right? A quarterback, like, okay, Kirk Cousins, his over-under was set at 268 yards, right? And he's capable of throwing for that many yards in a game. Those yards are going to come from somewhere, right? Like, that's my thing. Like, you're most likely not going to hold him to under 200 yards, most likely, right? Just because he's a good enough quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He has the ability to throw for a good amount of yards. So what I'm saying is if Josh Norman gets beat on a play, like I expect someone to get beat throughout a game to where it totals 250 yards or something from an opposing quarterback. Like those things are going to happen. Those things happen in every game, not just 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo threw for 230 something yards. He was playing against an opposing secondary. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just seem like everybody's supposed to be shut down, and the 49ers are only going to give up 50 yards passing in the game. Not going to happen with the way guys are able to attack defenses. So if Josh Norman gives up a catch, in my eyes, well, somebody's going to give up the catch. Until he's getting picked on, again, and when I say picked on, there are guys that get targeted like 10 times in the game, 12 times in the game. If he gets targeted to that standpoint and he's just giving up plays and he looks like he can't play, then hell yeah, man, take him out. But that's not the case. Yeah. It's a catch here and there. It's a penalty here and there. And it's him punching the ball out and potentially forcing a takeaway. So I look at it from that standpoint. I hope that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, definitely makes sense. And did Jefferson even get over 100? I think I saw him at like 89 or something like that.
83. And if you follow me on Underdog Fantasy, I told everybody, take the under on his yards. Take the over on Thielen's yards. I was right on both of those. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's pretty much all I got. Hey, great show, man. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, Logan. Thank you. All right, here we go. Got my guy Ryan on, aka Ricky Williams. Ryan, how you doing this morning, man? Ryan,
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you. How you doing? Uh-oh, he's out. Real quick, while we got a big brief break, y'all see what the hell is going on, man. Got my USC jersey on. Now, here's the thing, because my guy Chris Roscoe, he usually comes on, and he's the USC guy. Like, he's the biggest USC fan that I know. I know Dion's in here. Dion's in the chat. He's a UCLA guy. Now, I grew up more of a Miami Hurricane fan. But when I went to college, 2010, and I always liked USC, but I mean, come on, man. You couldn't be watching college football in the late 90s, early 2000s, and watching Miami football and not fall in love with their brand of football and how they went about it. All right. So I like Miami and all that. But when I got to college, and again, I like Reggie Bush. He was my favorite player. I'm like, Reggie Bush is great. I watched a lot of USC. So I like USC, but Miami was kind of my team. When I got to college and I heard how bad these guys talk about West Coast football, it made me hate. It made me hate that the SEC, all that. And I want the Pac-12 to win. And SC was like, that's my team. Like, I know if USC is balling, Pac-12 is going to be much better, and they're going to hold it down for West Coast football. So I really turned more into like a USC fan. Now, I'm not like a super fan or anything like that, but I'm a fan of West Coast football, high school players, college football. Like, I want to see West Coast do well. And if I had to pick one team out of all that, obviously it's USC. That saying, I've been very critical of West Coast football as of late because it wasn't pretty. And USC, it wasn't pretty. And it's just like they don't care as much. Like, it was just bad. Everything about it. And it's awesome to see USC go out, get Lincoln Riley and what he's going to do for USC. I'm really excited to see what happens with USC, man. Like, that's big time. You see the guys flipping. Got my guy, Raleigh Brown. I coach Raleigh. Where's my Edison stuff at? So I coach Raleigh Brown at Edison E-House his sophomore year. He already had offers from everybody in the nation. He was already a 5-star recruit. He already got offered from USC, Alabama, everybody. That was when I coached him his sophomore year, Edison High School. He's from Stockton, California. He ended up transferring to Modern Day. Obviously, they're doing big things, competing for state. He's a big part of that. But he's one of the 5-star recruits that it looks like might flip. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, that's kind of just my take on that. But I don't have too much more time in here. Remember, I got to take my niece to the airport. But real quick, my guy Ryan, he's in here. What's good, Ryan? How you doing, bro?
Uh-oh. What's cracking like him, Brody, man? I'm just really glad and impressed with the win we got yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Hello?
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Nah, man, I was just happy and impressed with the W yesterday, man. The team played good. Shanahan coached a little scared. He was a little skittish, you know what I'm saying? Made me a little upset, but, you know, that just comes along with the territory, man. I think the defense held up. They did their thing as well. And for overall, man, everything was good. So, yeah, man, I got that dub, man. You know what I'm saying? I was telling what you were saying, the other guy talking about Kyle Shanahan, man. Yeah, I say I don't think we were mad at Kyle. We just was disappointed at the team and the product. It was just looking bad, you know. But with adjustments and stuff like that, the team is playing better. You know what I mean? And we can be objective and call out what's going on with Kyle, and hopefully fans don't think that we want to fire him. It's just that we know that the team can do better with the talent that we do have. You know what I'm saying? And so when someone critiques the team, you can't automatically think we're trying to call for everybody to be fired. It's just not like that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, man. Sense on that.
All right, appreciate you coming on, Ryan. I'm gonna get the next caller on. All right, here we go. I got Bradley coming on real quick. Before I get Bradley on, let me go. Niners, Dodgers. If no Deebo, do you think we can still beat the Hawks? I think it makes it tougher because Deebo's just been such a terrific playmaker. Obviously, somebody the 49ers offense is leaned on. Seahawks game, I mean, Seahawks are always – I hate the Seahawks because it doesn't matter how down they are. They're going to get up for this game. So we can see Russell Wilson, everything he's going through, their ups and downs. Do they play tonight? I think they play tonight, right? If they play tonight, they may very well lose. And at the end of the day, when the 49ers travel up to Seattle, all that stuff goes out the window. It all goes out the window. They're going to be up for that game. And hopefully the 49ers kick their ass. But I do think that Deebo, it hurts not having them. Now, yeah, you can still beat them, but it hurts not having them. Now, you might have to really focus a little bit more on featuring George Kittle, but Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Sherfield, get him involved, and Juwan Jennings, he's coming along. But it hurts. It hurts not having Deebo. I'm not going to lie. That game, I don't care about what the records are. I think you throw all that out. That game right there is going to be a big dog battle. And again, they got Russell Wilson back. 49ers should win. They're supposed to win. But I don't look at that game like, oh, it's just a gimme because it just never has been. What's good, Bradley?
Hey, good morning, sir. How was your weekend?
Good, man. Good. How's your weekend? My weekend was a lot better because Lakers won, Niners won, USC got Lincoln Riley. So that was awesome.
Awesome. Good, good. Mine was good because the Niners win. I get kind of down for a whole entire night if the Niners lose. So my night was good.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, you're not the only one, man. When, I do Locked On 49ers with my guy Brian Peacock, and we see the numbers. So we know when the 49ers are losing, what the numbers look like as opposed to when the 49ers are winning. And real quick, if y'all aren't already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Locked On 49ers is now on YouTube, and we've already hit over 1,000 subscribers in just 7 days. Our goal was 1 week from Sunday to Sunday, hit 1,000 subscribers, and we did that. So go subscribe, Locked On 49ers. We go live a couple of times a week as well. But yeah, definitely 49er fan base is much more engaged when the team is winning. And, it's a lot more fun to hear about the things your team is doing right as opposed to the team just being ass and on a 4-game losing streak like they were earlier.
Oh, yeah. One thing that I wanted to talk about, I guess, is just the energy of the team. I like watching the videos of the 49ers coming out before the game starts. They got the giant 2 boom boxes on their shoulders, and Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel are always dancing. And I just feel like the vibe of the team is completely different. I just feel like we have like the souls of all of our last opponents attached to us and our energy just going forwards. But I am worried about the Seahawks game because Jimmy does not do good when he gets pressure in his face and they take away the middle of the field. And the Seahawks are always really good at doing that against us, and he has no one to throw to. Because you look at all those throws that he had during this last game, they were all in the middle of the field. Someone was wide open, someone found a hole in the zone or something like that, or they were really nice throws on slants over the middle. So when teams take that away, Jimmy does not do good, and I'm really nervous about this Seahawks game. But I'm so excited about the vibe of the team and the energy of the team. It just feels like everyone's real playful right now. Did you see Juwan Jennings' interview?
I saw like a little clip. They asked one question. I saw that, but I didn't see like the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, he just had this positive energy, like, he was just like an understudy and was really excited about just being able to play with the guys that he is. And I think that him and Norman are bringing kind of a feisty, playful energy to the team, and I really like that for the younger guys.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Kendrick Bourne a little bit. Kendrick Bourne doing his thing over there in New England, man. A lot of people didn't care that he was leaving, but and obviously the 49ers offense right now is picked up, but miss my guy Kendrick Bourne, man. Miss my guy. But I appreciate you coming on, Bradley. I'm going to get the next caller on.
Yeah, have a good rest of the day, sir.
All right, you have a good one. Here we go. Rich, what's good, Rich? How you doing? Good morning.
So, Crocky.
Hold on, real quick. I want to address one thing. I see some people in the comments saying Kittle is a blocker first. I think Kittle is a football player first. I don't think just a blocker. I think and when I say football player, he's just going to be somebody that whatever you ask of him, he's going to do it. I mean, blocking is fun and all that, but I don't think Kittle doesn't care about what he has to do. He just does it. So if you're asking him to catch 12 passes for 150 yards, he's going to love that. If you ask him to block all game, he's going to love that. I just don't think Kittle cares. Kittle is a football player first and foremost. So just kind of wanted to talk about that real quick. But what's on your mind, Rich?
Not much. I lost a little respect for you when you said you were a Lakers fan, but that's okay. I just don't like LeBron James is all. But no, I'm. First I want to say I was probably on board with firing Shanahan. I know there was some comments in the section, I'll admit, but I think his play calling has been very, in tune lately, and or in rhythm, I should say, which it wasn't at the beginning of the season. I think he found something, especially in Deebo, using him as a running back. But I think most importantly, I think what happened is getting Aiyuk more involved. Whatever that situation was, I don't know, but someone commented about put in the chat about the Seahawks game, and I think I don't take the Seahawks lightly, but I think they have a real good chance because Aiyuk is more involved, because they're getting these guys more involved, and I think Kittle will probably be more involved, especially in the pass catching game because if Deebo's out. But I like where they're sitting, especially making a playoff push. The only game that I see on the calendar that I see as a loss is probably the Bengals. I would have said the Titans, but they're real banged up, and without their wide receivers, I don't know if they can keep the pace that they were on. But I like where the team is heading. And just one final thought on the Josh Norman situation. I just don't get it, man. I'm with you. I'm trying to not use words like our, but this pass defense that the 49ers have is like number 3 in the league. You don't just get there by happen chance. You got to have not just a good D-line, but a good back end too. And I think if they want to kill anybody, what they really need to target is Eric Armstead. That dude, for as much as he's getting paid, you haven't heard squat from him.
Right.
Yesterday, I don't think I heard his name once. But you heard Kevin Givens, you hear Arden Key, Bosa, you hear all the time. But where's Eric Armstead, man? That guy gets paid way too much to not get brought up at all. So I mean, that's just my thoughts. Appreciate your show, man, and look forward to hearing what you got to say.
All right, appreciate you coming on, Rich. All right, here we go. Got my guy Dion on. And real quick, I had a question. I see my guy Darius. He said, you started early today, Croc. Yeah, I started early because I have to take my niece to the airport, and the airport is in Little Rock. It's an hour and a half away. So I got on early so I can really kind of get a full show in. So we started at 6 a.m. Pacific time this morning. But, everybody's able to go back, listen, watch the whole thing. Again, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We come on here every morning, typically 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Central time, so it's 8:30 after I drop my kids off at school. But I appreciate everybody that's typically in here in the chat. Got 240 y'all in here. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I only have, last time I checked, 79 likes. All right, so 79 likes, and there's 240 y'all in here. So click that chat down right now. Hit that like button. Let this thing be seen, man. It helps with the algorithm. I appreciate all y'all for the support of this channel. But my guy Dion, what's good? Or did Dion freeze? Dion froze. Oh, there he goes. He's back. What's good, Dion?
What's good with you, Crocky? Hey, man, this was a good team win. We ain't had no problems. We ain't had no worries. Everything seemed to work out well.
Dion. We lost you. Dion's having a little bit of technical difficulty. We just got to remove him from the chat. Let's see if he's back now. Okay, looks like Dion might be back. All right, Dion.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Yeah, I be connecting to my Wi-Fi since I be taking these walks, man. But long story short for me, bro, Jawan Jennings is who Kyle Shanahan wanted Jalen Hurd to be. So all what he wanted from Jalen Hurd, he gonna get it out of Jawan Jennings. And I'm telling you right now, the beauty of it is, man, we coming on strong. We doing what we're supposed to do. And we did what we wanted to do. We ran the ball. That's what you're supposed to do. Run the ball. It's that simple. Right. We ran the ball the way we were supposed to. And Jimmy, the TD pass to Jennings that he actually didn't get, I was very surprised. He put that joint right in the corner of the end zone, only where Jennings could get it. And I was like, okay, Jimmy, all right. I give you a little respect for that. I ain't never seen you make it though like that, but okay, dig that. But yeah, man, we ran the ball perfectly. We did what we were supposed to do. And once again, I'll take the game management, man. I will take that easily. I'm not going to stress, not going to be upset. I'm going to be cool about it. Do your thing, Jimmy. We got the W. That's all that matters. I agree with you about this Seahawks game. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all because it's hard, man, because the Seahawks game, we wind up in those situations where they always play us hard, but they just know us and they're division opponents. So it's real scary, but we just got to be real careful about it, man. But I appreciate you coming on. Congrats on Lincoln Riley and everything going on with that, bro. Hopefully your recruiting classes will continue to get better and everybody will be good. And we should be perfectly fine, man. I don't have no issues, no problems, with what y'all doing. Just next year, come see us because we about that life. UCLA finna come all day, every day.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see what Chip Kelly got cooking up, man. He was
Yes,
kind of on the
sir.
hot seat, but it looks like this year is probably gonna hold him over. We'll see. DTR gonna be back next year.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, because the recruiting class for quarterbacks is so trash, he might take the leap just because he can get paid easier. You know what I mean? Somebody might take a chance on him because he's starting to develop better as a passer. He's not the greatest, but he's developing a lot better as a passer, and it's starting to come along. And he's still a little bit of a project. You still got to work with him, but his dual threat ability, somebody will bite on that easy just because they know they can use him in two separate ways. So I think he may or may not come back, but if he want to get paid, he'll probably do it now because the quarterback class coming out this year is hot garbage, which is why when we trade Jimmy, somebody be desperate enough to possibly give us a second round pick. Possibly. Don't kill me in the chat, guys. Possibly.
I think, depending on how Jimmy Garoppolo finishes the year, I think there's a chance that a team like New Orleans Saints, I know they're up against it with the cap, but I think there's a opportunity for someone to be like, hey, we'll give you a first to get a guy like him, because this class isn't, it's like, do you get somebody that's going to be a 9-year pro? And I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo, his skill set and how he wins kind of mirrors, I don't want to say it mirrors Drew Brees, but, more quick passing and rhythm. And Sean Payton knows exactly how to utilize that. And Jimmy plays good enough football to win. So, I think there are teams that will potentially be willing to give up a first for Jimmy. People think that's crazy, but I don't think so.
Yeah, hey, if the dude say he goes in and wins at least one playoff game, and even if we get put out in the second game, that'll be play. That's enough. Right. That's all you need just to boost that trade value. But hey, man, I appreciate you, Crocky. Hopefully you get your niece to the airport safely. She gets on her flight, and she gets home safely. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, congrats on the Lincoln Riley thing. I think it's good for SC. I used to work there, so I know SC like the back of my hand. I was working there when Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and all those dudes were there. Yeah. So it was cool. Although I had to say this, Reggie Bush is an asshole. He's real stuck up. He was a real stuck up, bro. But, very, very snobby.
So is this when he was in college?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, he was feeling. When he was in college, he was feeling himself to the max.
That's tough because you got to look at who. He was the man. Like, right? Yes. He was like the guy. He was bigger. And like when you're the man and you're at USC, I think it could be easy to kind of walk around a certain way. But I would assume that Reggie Bush, who was young, we're talking about 20, 21 years old. I'd assume that this is a different version of him now as a mature adult.
And I bet you, and the one thing I'll tell you is that Matt Leinart, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. He was so polite, bro. One of the nicest people. And they're all the offensive line, gentle giants, man. Big dudes holding it down, but gentle giants, and they were nice, man. They were cool. Because I used to work in a bookstore and I got the books and stuff for him, man. Reggie was missing one book and he took it out on one of the cats that was working there. So I had to check the situation because dude just standing there getting verbally abused. So I walked in, I was like, okay, is there a problem? He's like, yeah, man, this dude forgot my book. I was like, okay, can you relax? Bring it down a notch, bro. I don't know who you're talking to, but you're not going to take that tone with me. I was like, what book are you missing? He told me, I came, I got it. And then because he was being a dick, I just threw it right on the desk. I was like, well, get your book. It almost fell on the floor. Don't think. And I looked at him, I said, do not think because you are a star athlete, you get to treat people like shit. You better get that out of your head now. You better be humble. Have some fucking respect, man. Don't talk to people like that, bro. That's not cool. That's not cool. And he just looked at me and one of the linemen looked at me and he was like, man, ain't nobody ever talked to Reggie that way. And I was like, I don't care who he is or what he does. you still have to have respect for people. I said, because there's going to come a day when he's going to do that to the wrong person. Somebody going to punch him in the face.
Right. Right. Yeah. Or worse. And we've seen some of the athletes get
Yes,
shot
sir.
and all type of other stuff. So, but yeah, man, appreciate you coming on, big
All
dog.
right, bro. Peace.
All right, real quick, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 260 of y'all. That's what's up. That's what's up. Click the chat down, hit the like button. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky. Manscaped. I haven't even talked about Manscaped. And today, y'all know what today is. Manscaped Monday. Today is Manscaped Monday. So make sure you get the shower, get trimmed up. Again, don't be walking around crazy. Get sexy for your lady. Manscaped, go to manscaped.com. Right now, through the holidays, they've had a 25% off discount on everything throughout the website. But, even if you don't get that 25% off, you get it tomorrow, whatever, use promo code Crocky and you'll get 20% off of your order. All right, 20% off by using Crocky, promo code Crocky at manscaped.com. Did have something I wanted to touch on right here. It says, no way in hell Jimmy fetches a first. No one in the league considers him at that level. We get lucky with a second or third rounder. Now here, this is my pushback on that. The quarterback market is what the market like that. It's not a logical thing. The quarterback market is not logical. All right. The logical thing would be, yes, Jimmy is not worth a first round pick. But when it comes to quarterbacks in the markets and what that demands, it's just like money. Was Jimmy worth $137 million when they signed him? No. The logical thing was, hey, let's wait, see it out, see when we can. But it's not logical. Nothing is logical when it comes to a quarterback position. When you see these guys get drafted super high every year, the reason why the 49ers had to, move up to potentially the third spot to draft a guy like Trey Lance, because the quarterback market is not logical. It's not logical in the draft. It's not logical in free agency. It's not logical when it comes to trading for a guy, right? Like, you're going to have to give up more. Whatever you think, if you think he's worth a second to third round pick, the NFL probably thinks that too, but it's probably going to take a first. Probably. Now, if you think he's worth a fourth or fifth round pick, then it's probably going to take a second. Whatever you're thinking, go a little bit above that, and that's likely what you'll get if he continues to play at this level. Because you have to look at it like this. There are not a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback you can win with. This class that's coming out, you can say, you know what? I'd rather take a chance with Kenny Pickett, right? So if you're the New Orleans Saints or you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, go ahead and draft Kenny Pickett. But there's more of a chance that Kenny Pickett doesn't work out than there is Jimmy Garoppolo not come in and be able to win in a good situation. So how much do you value that? If you are Mike Tomlin, who's used to winning, and you lose Ben Roethlisberger, do you want to say, all right, I'm just going to put the next 3 years in the hands of Kenny Pickett, or like who people aren't really that high on, but he's getting pumped up because, well, this class isn't strong? Or, you know what, we can go get Jimmy Garoppolo. We know we can win with him, and we'll see if we can draft somebody second round, third round, and develop him. Now, if you're thinking, well, we're going to get Jimmy for a second or third, and the 49ers like, well, I got the Saints offering this, you're going to have to pony up something more for it. How much is it worth for your organization to hit the ground running and win? And you can win with Jimmy Garoppolo, especially in the right situation. Pittsburgh typically is known for having a good defense. They have a plethora of weapons. They got a run game with Najee Harris. They want to feed him the ball, get him the ball in space. That can work well with Jimmy Garoppolo. You have New Orleans Saints, quick game. They got Michael Thomas. They got these other receivers that are doing well. You got Alvin Kamara. You can throw the ball to him. You can hand the ball off to him. A good situation for a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. So again, I'm not saying they're going to get it first, but I'm saying I could see a scenario where they do, because the quarterback market is unlike any other. That's why guys make all this crazy money that ain't did nothing. A lot of times you'll look and see the highest paid quarterbacks in the league don't even be winning. I hope that makes sense. But again, I appreciate everybody coming in. You know what? I gotta go on YouTube real quick and talk my stuff, because I got the jersey on. Y'all see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, hey, all y'all right now in the chat, everybody that's going up in the chat, you guys are on the Instagram. All right, right here. You guys see it. 240 people in here. The chat's going up. Y'all go ahead and say hi. All my folks in here. You see the USC jersey. Fight on. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I got to get my niece to the airport. I appreciate everybody that has been in here, contributed to a great show. Again, if you don't know, this will be up on podcast shortly. So whatever podcast you listen to, somebody said Croc with the iPhone XR. I actually also have an iPhone. I have an iPhone 12 Max or whatever, but it's I'm using that to record. So this right here, that's an iPhone as well. So I got two phones. And for whatever reason, I use the iPhone XR to do my streaming. I might go today while I'm in Little Rock and go get me a new camera. They got the this Sony camera that's specifically for streaming. It's going to cost about $700, but might go get that. They got it's like $200 off right now. So I'll probably go get that today. I'm making more money now with all my streaming stuff, so I guess I got to use more for taxes, or I have to buy more stuff, or they're just going to take it from me in Texas, I guess. That's kind of what I hear. But appreciate everybody, man. 49ers, let's go. 3-game winning streak. 6th seed, half a game out of the 5th seed. They're on the Rams' ass right now. And I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna be at the Rams game in LA. Are y'all gonna be in the game on LA? Who's gonna be there? I'm gonna be there. All right, I'm gonna be there. 49ers, LA Rams. There's a chance that Trey Lance might start that game, depending on if the 49ers clearly are still a playoff team, and if there's no movement available. I bet they'll start Trey Lance. I bet they will. But I'm gonna be there. Real quick, obviously this is the Frontline Sports Media account. I will be adding more podcasts to this. So yeah, you guys got to get the Croc morning show every morning. But my guys, Jasper and Jamal, their podcast will be up soon. We're going to start that. They'll be on once a week, live on the YouTube channel, and also you'll be able to hear it on all the streaming platforms. I got a soccer podcast coming. Man, we're trying to grow, man. And again, I couldn't do it without the help of y'all. So I appreciate everybody that has contributed to the show. Merchandise coming soon. Got the hats coming in tomorrow. So hats, beanies, if y'all want some Frontline gear, it's coming, baby. It's coming. Gets here tomorrow. So I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Rodgers over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Croc Talk TV podcast. Peace.